Welcome back to University of Houston's FLL training series. Today we'll be covering the different types of sensors. So let's do a quick recap of what we already know up to here. The NXT brick is controlled by a program. A program can tell the robot to move motors, and we can change the flow of a program to repeat certain actions. So now we'll be attaching a sensor into the mix, changing the flow of a program again. So what is a sensor exactly? A sensor is an attachment for the robot that sends information about its current state to the program. They can sense things like touch, light, distance, sound, etc. Again, remember that a program doesn't know what to do with this input unless you define it. On to our first sensor, the touch sensor. If you guessed that this detects when something touches the front, you'd be right. So let's set up a program that utilizes this sensor. Again, we'll use an imaginary challenge to understand the concept. So our goal is for the robot to go forward until it hits a wall, after which it turns to the left. So of course you can just measure out the distance, but sometimes exacts don't always work. So driving straight into the programming this time, we'll first start with dragging a loop block into the active area. Go ahead and set a move block inside the loop. Alter the options of the block to only move a small distance, say 180 degrees. Also, change the next action option to coast instead of brake. Because the program will loop, we don't want the robot to do a full stop and brake every half turn. We want it to run continuously. Now, onto the loop block. Change the control setting on sensor to the drop down. Now, on the drop down below that, make sure it's set for the touch sensor. To the right, we'll be setting the exit condition for pressed. So now the loop block is listening for input coming from the sensor, and when it is pressed, the loop will exit. After the loop block, we'll just add in a move block for the turn. It can be any type of turn, a curve, or a dime turn. And then we're done. See? Now you know how to use input from a sensor to change the flow of a program. Like everything else, it's up to you on how you use these tools. There are many more types of sensors to use, and in another video we will cover how to use them. Well, that's all for today then.